Good morning, everybody. It's Yankee Wally here. It's 1:16 in the morning, Friday the 17th of January 2025. Now, I lost Christmas. I really did. And I'm showing you here. I did get in a terrible state. I honestly thought I was dying. But I wasn't scared. I just didn't like not being able to breathe. It, what I stuttering there. I don't like going to the doctor. You know that. And I tend to order things online, which is, great for me because I'm not stupid, and I can Google and find out things that I need, and I've never actually been given a Ventolin inhaler through a prescription off a doctor. All my inhalers I've got online. So anyway, my chest was getting tight. Now, I don't know if you remember, I put a video up around about Christmas, and I tell you when it was. It was the New Orleans, that car that went through the people, and I put a video up, and there was a picture of the man the guilty man, and of course he was kind of topless. I think his t-shirt was off, and there was a bullet mark on him. It wasn't that bad. It went up okay, and then it came down, and then I heard I got a black mark. I didn't care. I really don't care anymore about anything like that, because if I care about it, it's just, it just wastes my time. I'm too old now to get into knots over things, But so that came down, and I think I put another one up. And I don't know if I told you, I said, I had to have a drink of whiskey to pluck up the courage to make this video. Now, this whiskey should have been the best. I'd been saving all year with Asda, which is, as you know, is the same as Walmart, except it's British. And if you buy certain things, star products they call them, they give you 10% back in a saver pot. And so if I wanted anyway, like if it was toilet paper, if it just meant, switching brands, and it was not, if it was profitable for me to do it, that's what I mean, I'd have that. And anyway, by the time Christmas came, I had £52. That's a lot of money, that. So I changed it into tokens, which you had to do or you lose it. Ooh, they make it almost impossible for you to actually get your hands on the goods, or, you never get the money, but the goods. You weren't allowed to have pharmacy products. You weren't allowed to have cigarettes. You weren't allowed... I thought, I bet you they're not going to allow any booze. But sure enough, no, they allowed booze. So I thought, right, what shall I have? So I bought a bottle of Kraken. It's rum, it is, but it was cherry flavoured. I haven't tried it yet. It's still here. And then I bought a bottle of Captain Morgan's spiced rum, one of those, and it was a half a bottle of Penderyn Welsh whiskey, Celt flavour, Celt. I thought, well, that's made for me, that is, because I am a Celt, and, Penderyn. Do you know that whiskey was bloody horrible? It was like damp earth. You know the damp earth, like after rain. If you put your nose and mouth into the damp earth and suck that was just like the whiskey. And it had a very harsh, at the back of the throat. Anyway, I didn't have anything to mix with it, so I poured it into a mug. I had a bone china mug, half filled it with whiskey, half filled it with water, and slugged it down. And I did that 3 times. So I had 3 half cups of whiskey. Oh God, I was bad. And that was the start of it all. After that, the next day, I thought, I don't feel right, So I was ramming down the what they call them now, these ones for heartburn, Zantac or whatever you call, you got names for them, the one a day one, swigging back the Gaviscon, and bicarbonate of soda and water. I had them all, and I just didn't feel right over Christmas. Then it was my chest started going, and my kidneys, and I had a kidney infection. But the worst part was I only had, I mean, normally I don't use an inhaler much at all. But I'd been using this, I buy them in packs of 3, and I was down to my last one, and it was kind of half full. And I started to panic because it was Christmas and I couldn't get anything else. So I ordered some online, and almost within 24 hours, I had an email back, rejected, both of them, because I was using it too much. Oh, I gave them a gobful, I did, but I was just panicking. So I got a neighbour upstairs, UFO Steve. I call him that because he does really believe in UFOs, and he does smoke quite a bit of the devil's lettuce. So I don't know. He reckon he sees them everywhere. So I said, Steve, can you spare me an inhaler? He said, well, I can't come downstairs, see, because I got COPD, see, because he's on the top floor. 1, 2, 3, 4th floor. I'm on the ground. He said, I'll throw it out the window and it'll land on your patio. All of a sudden, there's this almighty smash. And this new inhaler, the new ones that haven't got any CFCs in them, the gas stuff, they're big, in a hard plastic case. And the hard plastic case just smashed to smithereens. Well, I didn't care. I pushed it into an old one, and I was all right. But I wasn't really all right. You know what I mean? I was, well, put it this way. The kidney infection made me want to go for a wee all the time, like constantly, one after the other. Now, if you look top left-hand corner, 500 milligram of amoxicillin and 125 of clavulanic acid. That's what I had for the kidney infection. I had 21 of those tablets, 3 times a day. I took the last one tonight. And then down here in the bottom left-hand corner, I had 30 prednisolone tablets. Only 5 milligram, but I had to take 6 a day, every morning, for 5 days. And I finished those yesterday. And then here now, on the right, is a letter from the doctor saying I got to go and have my bloods done now. I can't have any more repeat prescriptions until I've gone and sorted myself out. So it's a blessing in disguise. Even though I did tear that chemist off a strip, I said you shouldn't leave somebody with no inhaler, regardless of if they use it too much. It was only because I put down I'd used it too much. I don't think I had, really. So I was in a bit of a rough... So in the end, I rang the doctor. And they said, you can come over. I said, I can't get over there. No, the doctor surgery from my front door is, oh God, 500 steps, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 500 steps. Nothing more than that, I don't think. 5-minute walk, if that. Got to cross over a double road, 2-lane road both ways. So 4-lane road, but... that's what I panic about, though, because if you've got to run and you can't run, you're gone, So anyway, they said they'd ring me back, and all of a sudden there was a knock on my door, and it was the doctor. Oh, and he was lovely. He had a bobble hat on, and he had all his kit, all his bits and pieces, like his stethoscope, in a bag for life, one of those little bags. I thought, how cool is that? Like a shopping bag, Anyway, he came in and I said, oh, I'm ever so sorry about the state of this place, doctor. I said, but you see, it's my chest. I just can't seem to, getting the energy. Anyway, he put a clipper on my finger, on my middle finger, for my oxygen count, I think. Put his stethoscope on and checked both sides of my chest. And his words were, then he took the clicker off my finger and he looked at it. He didn't say anything. And then he said, your chest is terrible. That's what he said. I'm not lying. He said that. He said, you should really be going into hospital to get this under control. And I said, look, doctor, I said, I can't leave my cat. I said, I just can't leave my cat. And so he gave me this prescription, the one you're looking at now. And I said, well, how am I going to get this prescription? Because I couldn't walk anywhere. If I went to the loo, because I got the kidney infection, I had to take an inhaler, 15 steps to sit on the loo, and then I got off the inhaler. Life was pretty miserable over Christmas and the New Year, let me tell you. And I didn't have anybody to talk to because you know me, I don't. I don't encourage it until I'm out of the woods. But I've risen again. One of my 9 lives. I'm really feeling good. Of course, these steroids, I've never taken steroids in my life before. I'm expecting any day to wake up and I've puffed up like the Pillsbury Doughman. I don't know. They say it makes you fat. But if it comes to that or breathing, I'm already fat, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm feeling a lot better now. And I am sorry. The thing was, there's no point me doing a video if I'm going to be like staggering for my breath, it wouldn't be fair on you, because I know you all love me and I know you think, oh my God, she sounds like she's dying. Well, that's the time when I got to keep quiet, isn't it? That's the time when I got to fix it, And so I've taken all my tablets now. I think tomorrow, today is Friday. I'm going to take the weekend now, and then on Monday, I'm going to get myself all dolled up as best I can and go over to the doctor's at 8:30. They said if I go over at 8:30, or you can ring at 8:30 for an appointment, you see. But if I turn up, and then I'll see the doctor, get my bloods checked, get whatever else done, get myself an inhaler on a prescription. Maybe I need more steroids, maybe I'll need some other things, I don't know. But I might as well now, because I'm in it up to my knees. I might as well go in all the way in there and stop ordering off the internet, because they frightened me, when they said no to me. They really did frighten me. And because I'd never been told no before, and to be told no when, breathing was like I was walking, but all I had was a straw to breathe through. That was the feeling. It was like as if I was trying to function, but breathing through a straw. That's how bad it was. And the only way I could get over it was to lie down perfectly still and just let it go through me, and through. And then, of course, I had Steve's inhaler, so that was a blessing in disguise. So I'm not I'm not probably not as fit and strong as I like to think I am. However, I think that I've been extremely lucky this time. Very, very lucky. And I'm glad to be back. But at the same time, I think to myself, does this mean now I can't move from where I'm living? Because all the time I'm thinking now, I want to go somewhere. I just want to go somewhere else. You see, when Iris was alive, God love her, God rest her soul, I still think about her every day. I got these curtains, right? They are lined. They're not quite wide enough for the window, but it's okay because I put these little bulldogs, where the curtains come together, like those things, those clips you put in your hair like bulldogs. I bulldog the curtains together, keep them together. Now, Iris always used to sit on the end of the sofa and poke her head through the curtains to look what was going on. The patio door was open. She was in heaven. And she suddenly saw a little hole in the lining, not the curtain, the lining. And she went to town on that and she ripped it to smithereens. I didn't care. The curtains was old as hills anyway. I've been here 10 years now and I think I'd only washed them once. So one side of my curtains now, all the lining is just ripped. And I thought, God, what must the neighbours think of me? I mean, I bought some new curtains. I did. I bought them from Asda. Nice colour gold, lined, and a lot wider than the other ones. And when I went up there to put them up, I just froze. I'm getting old. I can't do it like I could used to. I normally would get up there and do it, but I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, I don't want to disturb the cobwebs anyway, because they look quite pretty. They look great over Christmas anyway. But I'm living in a shit tip. That's the only way I can say it. And so I said to the doctor when he was leaving, I said, I'm so sorry about the mess here, doctor. I said, but when I get better, I'll ring the social services and I'll try and get some help. And he went, 234, 234. Like that must be the phone number, 234, 234. So he knew straight away. And I thought, because honestly, I did send some pictures to Avid Gardener, but I'm too embarrassed to show you, but it's worse than bad. It really is worse than bad. And I'm sitting here now thinking, I'm not unhappy here. That's the thing. If this was a flat in the middle of a field where nobody was looking at my curtains, because they're talking to each other and saying, look at her curtains there. They must think I'm as poor as a church mouse. Well, I'm not. I'm not as poor as a church mouse because I don't go out. I don't spend much money. And my cigarette consumption has absolutely nosedived. Frightened I am now. I maybe have one in the morning, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. I've got to be careful. I mean, when push comes to shove, what do you want? Do you want breath or do you want a good fag? I was talking to my friend Louis. I don't know if you remember Louis. I used to live with Louis. When I first met him, he didn't smoke. But after being with me for a couple of months, he was smoking. A year later, he was on mini cigars. And he was on those for years and years and years. And I spoke to him over Christmas and I told him about my chest and he said, I gave up the cigars in 2013. Oh, I said, well done. He said, the doctor told me, he said, I was smoking about 20 mini cigars a day and the doctor said to me it was the same as if I smoked 80 cigarettes a day. One cigar, one mini cigar is like 4 cigarettes. I didn't feel so bad then, I didn't feel bad at all. I said, how did you do it then, Lou? He said, with vapes. He said, I got vapes. So I might get myself some vapes now. I'll have a go at it anyway. But at the same time, you've got to remember, I've been smoking now for over 50 years. 50. Started smoking when I was in about 12, 11. But in a way, I know it's a terrible thing to say, but my mother smoked. And I suppose I nicked fags out of her packet, and so on. And then I started smoking in the school toilets at about 12, 13. And then it carried on. But looking back, and I feel bad about the fact that I did start smoking so young, but there was never any drugs. When I hear the American, the crime stories and the kids talking and they say, well, I was smoking marijuana at 11, 12, 13. By 14, I was on, I don't know, crystal meth or whatever, whatever else they take. And I think that's probably worse. It's all bad, but that's probably a bit worse. Anyway, I'm going to try and find some stuff now I want to talk to you about. Look at that, 18 minutes, and I've said absolutely nothing. Oh, by the way, I want to say thank you very, very much. I had a message from YouTube. I got 10,000 followers. Yeah, tonight I found out. So I thought, well, there we go. I take my last tablet tonight. I make a video to thank everybody for the thank you, 10,000 people. Really grateful. I don't deserve it because I don't put in my... I don't work hard enough. I don't. But at the same time, I will try harder now. I promise you I will. I got so many things. And I think to myself, well, if I am going to die in the next... Because I didn't think I'd see this winter through. But here I am. I'm alive. Spring's here. Everything's good. But if I don't see another winter, I got to get some of these stories out. And another thing, I've already repented. As I'm getting older, I'm getting a bit more soft in the head, bit more sensitive. Really, I've changed so much. I mean, last week I gave only small, very, very, very small donations. We're talking less than a £5 to the elephants because I didn't like the look of them. They looked very ill. And pigs that they that they put into these battery farms and make them pregnant over and over. And I thought, that's it. So I gave them less than a fiver, but at the same time, I did it. And that's the sort of thing I'm feeling. It doesn't matter if it's not. And I do give to Wikipedia every year. Again, less than a fiver. I don't give an awful lot, but at least I think if everybody gave, £3, £4, it would make a big difference, wouldn't it? Anyway, I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Now, we've got to talk about it, haven't we? This is the terrible wildfire in California. And, of course, I didn't know hardly anything about the water. I didn't know that the hydrants were empty. I didn't know that the residents were limited to 38 gallons a day per person. I had no idea that the reservoir on the north of California was empty and had been for 2 years. And there's a woman, I don't know, I forgot her name, but she's got like a curly perm, quite long hair, white woman. She's in charge of the water for California. That's her job, in charge of the water. Water executive, water CEO, the water czar, the water king, the water queen. And for that, she gets $750,000 every year to be in charge of the water. And she couldn't even do that. And then you got the mayor. Well, I've never seen anything like that. The woman was struck dumb. She couldn't even defend herself. She couldn't even speak. That's a sure sign of guilt to me. She just looked embarrassed, and she let the news reporters ask her all these questions, and she just didn't answer. She's the mayor. I don't know what mayors do, but they got to go round mayoring and whatever, keeping an eye on everything. And for that, she gets $450,000 every year. So between the pair of those two, there's well over $1 million a year being spent in wages. So what went wrong? Well, about 2020, between 2020 and 2022, 7 out of the 12 big insurance companies in California pulled out. Even people that had been insured with these big companies for 50 years suddenly got told, we're not insuring you again. The risk is too high. Now, I know that they are specialists in their field, but if somebody said that to me, I would take that on board and I'd say, right, let's see why it's too high. Why has it changed? What's happened? They didn't look after the brush, the over-dry tinderbox mountains. They should have put fire breaks in by, clipping it right down to nothing, down to the soil, with about 100-yard breaks, so that if a fire starts one, it can't jump over to the next. It's common sense, And they cut the budget by 30%. They had 55% more fires or more call-outs than they did 5 years ago, and yet they have so many less staff. And the figures all came at me, and I can't even remember, but I remember being horrified. Why are they paying a water czar $750,000 a year if she can't even keep the hydrants full? Why is the mayor getting that much money if she can't even answer a question? And when the fire started, she was on holiday or on a fact-finding mission in Ghana, in Africa. These people, they are very obsessed with, what they call it now, EDI, exclusive division, transgender friendly, LGBTQ, all welcome here. They are very, very concerned with keeping diversity alive. And quite frankly, it doesn't really matter. They don't have to make so much have a song and a dance about it. I'll tell you something now. Little children, say 4, 5, 6 years of age, and they go to school. Some kids, and I was one of them, if they feel left out, they'll be extra loud, or do daring things, or be the one that'll be brave enough to jump the lily pond, or do whatever will get them the attention. That's what I used to do. And subsequently, I was known as a bit of a loudmouth and so on. I wasn't cruel, though. But some children just don't have it in them to be that way inclined. They are shy, they are withdrawn. Now, if they wanted to be more noticed, which every kid likes to be noticed, likes to be special, if they suddenly heard that, oh, I can tell my mum that I want to be a boy, I want to be a girl, I want to change from a boy to a girl, that'll get them the attention, won't it? You think about it from a child's point of view, that they would think, oh, I'll be special then. And I think that a lot of these young children whose brains are not fully developed learn how to get attention one way or another. And that would be what they would do. And I say it, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Nobody should be allowed to have any butchery done on their private parts, or their sex changed, or any hormone blockers, nothing, until they're at least, I think, 21. But I suppose 18 is the legal age for most people, but definitely not at 4, 5, 6, 7. It's outrageous. I noticed that Charlene Theron, I think she adopted 2 little, well, wherever she adopted, they're now the other. Adopted boys and they're dressing as girls, or adopted girls. Why didn't she just adopt girls in the first place, or boys in the first place? Why? And the kids are they're not even 10. And there she is, prancing them around, boys in dresses. There's so many people doing it, and I don't agree with it at all. Not because I'm not an easygoing, malleable sort of a person. I know there's a lot of people that are born into the wrong bodies. I know that. But that's no excuse for everybody to jump on the same bandwagon, because it's square pegs for square holes. And some people are just doing it for the wrong reasons. And of course, Gavin Newsom, he's a Liberal Democrat, isn't he? He's a Californian. I tell you what, I didn't like the way he was kind of smug and laughing. He he certainly didn't look down. I mean, if I had walked around that Pacific Palisades and I had seen the state of the place, there's no way I couldn't have not cried, especially when you see the old people that have been in there all their lives, paid the insurance all their lives, to be told 2 years ago they're not being insured anymore. And of course, some people, because they're getting on a bit, and, the rigmarole of ringing up and sorting this out is a bit too much for them. Maybe they haven't got any family to do it for them. So they just think, well, that's it then, I can't have insurance, and boom, the fires. I mean, all the insurance companies, 7 out of 12, moved out of California between 2020 and 2022. This is like it's all part of a bigger plan. And I think that another thing I read, and I believe this too, somebody whose house was worth 7.5 million. No, wrong, sorry, 4.5 million. And it had burnt down. This man came up to them and offered them 750,000 for the land as it stood. So this is the same thing that happened in Maui, when I think Oprah was involved in that as well. People were walking around and offering people money for their land. Now, they may not get it from everyone, the young couples with young children just building their futures. No, they're gonna, well, I hope they've all got insurance, but again, I say, if somebody refuses you insurance, you can't drive a car with no insurance, can you? Because you could hurt somebody else, and that would be bad. So you've got to have insurance for the other people that you might be involved in an accident with. Well, the same goes for those houses. They were that close together. The one house might have caught fire because the one in front of it did. I'm not saying that they can put blame, because they were 100-mile-an-hour winds, the Santa Ana winds, and they knew they were coming. They knew. And they saw these, apparently, the embers, they weren't embers like you think an ember. They were like dinner plates, apparently, being spun around in the air by 100-mile-an-hour winds. What chance have they got to put those out? So the helicopters, God love those firefighters, but now they don't earn £750,000 a year, do they? Yet they did a damn sight more than that water czar, the water queen, and the mayor who was out in Ghana. You know, all that money, and they cut the budget of the... It's almost like as if they were setting those people up in the Palisades to fail, because the amount of loss is 25 billion, and is probably going to rise from that. There's 16 that have died, and the same amount are missing. I'm just glad it's not worse than that. It's a terrible place to live as well. I'm not being funny, but I do like mountains, because I am Welsh, and if I can't see a mountain, I feel cheated. I was brought up, I could see mountains wherever I went. And but these are not real mountains, you see. This is the San Andreas fault line. This is apparently, if the San Andreas fault line splits, then Palm Springs, which is 2 hours inland, would become beachfront property. So what I'm trying to say is that land, Pacific Palisades, Malibu, Santa Monica, it's crap land. It really is crap land. It doesn't have a stable base. It's a fault line. It's the mountains go up and down, up and down, up and down. So if you've got a fire, it's very hard to control a fire when it's up and down. Those poor helicopters, I mean, God help them, in the smoke, and they didn't know where they were going half the time, drop in the water, 30,000 gallons in one drop. They were picking it up from the sea. And another thing, all those houses right on the beach in Malibu, very, very nice, I must say. Lovely. And they got the road behind them, so it's just the road, the house, the sand, the sea. Perfect. What's wrong with... I mean, these are people that have made a lot of money in, I don't know, movie business probably. But haven't they got any common sense? If that had been me with a house on the beach like that, obviously they had to make sure their foundations were proper, because it's that song, isn't it? The stupid man built his house upon the sand and it all came tumbling down. But so they've got a good cement base, concrete base. Why don't they do a borehole right down, because they wouldn't have to go down far to touch water? And why don't they just have a borehole and connect that up with some sort of sprinkler system? Would it cost that much? I mean, the houses are worth, I don't know how much, 20, 25 million. What's wrong with that? Get a borehole, get it going down, have a generator. If the fires goes, then you all put your sprinklers on. I mean, the sea was not 20 yards from their door. Their swimming pool was 10 yards from their door, and their houses burned down. Gee, it just doesn't make sense, does it? I'm not saying it's their fault, because it happened too quickly. It really did happen way too quickly. Oh, the cars and the pictures that they've lost. Mind, you know, I'm not one to try and throw my oar in here, but I lost my property, didn't I? I lost my next property, and then the next one. I lost 3. Well, you know all about that. And God, it's a terrible feeling. Mine, it was taken from me. But then, by the time I got back inside it, the cleaners who they put in there to clean had stolen practically everything that was valuable. So I didn't have much except my bed and a chest of drawers and stuff. But I got to the point where when I moved in here, this was after I was homeless 3 years. And when I moved in here, I didn't unpack because I thought, I don't know. I don't trust anybody anymore. I think they might come and take this off me. And that was the start of my messy house problem, messy flat problem, was I just didn't want to make it a home because I didn't feel as though I was going to be safe. But of course, it's not mine. It's a housing association, like the projects, as they call them in America. So, and I've been here now, I don't know how long. I think it might be 10 years, and I'm still here. But I learned a lot from that, and I'm not the same person that I was the day I was evicted and made bankrupt by the Inland Revenue. I am not the same person. For a good 5 years, I couldn't even talk about it without crying. The unfairness of it. I didn't know the tax. I really, really didn't. This was a hate thing, a personal thing, and so what? It's happened now. But the value I place on personal possessions is very little now. And I remember once my mother-in-law, she lived in California, in Palm Springs, and she went to England on holiday one year, and it was her son's girlfriend, burgled her house while she was in England, got into the safe and stole all her jewellery. And I was in England as well, so then she said to me, honey, she said, I don't want any more jewellery. She said, Dad wants to buy me and replace this and replace that. She said, but what's that? I don't want any more. And I used to think, wow, you don't want any more. Now I understand. Because if you start collecting and putting things together again, you're only setting yourself up for potentially another load of pain. And that takes you into Buddhism. And I know I shouldn't talk about religion and Buddhism, but I do like Buddhism. Oh, God, my hips. God, I'm falling apart here. It's the old saying, don't cling on to anything. Certainly not people. Because when they die, the sorrow is so huge. But I can understand losing people and the sorrow. But to lose possessions, I wish people would learn to laugh. I know memories are memories, but if you can't remember them in your head, and you need to have them to look at to remember, then do you really need them? I would like to say that if ever I got out of here and I got somewhere else for me and Trippy to go, that I would basically be able to get out of here with one suitcase, and that would be it. I haven't collected, I don't look for things anymore. It is no need. All my memories are inside my head. I mean, how many things have I smashed and broken and lost and had stolen? Oh God, so much. And it gets to the point where you think it's just stuff, just stuff. Anyway, Meghan Markle, she went around, didn't she? I'll show you where she went now. God, she's nauseating now. Even Hollywood hates her now. They call her a disaster tourist. This is where she went. 2898 Highview Avenue. That's the house. But of course, that's 2 years ago. God, and the people that live there, whoever they are, I don't know who they are, but they're not allowed to go home. They can't go home because they're keeping it all safe because of looters. Now that's a dirty career, isn't it? Eh? Dirty, filthy career. If it's not bad enough people losing their homes, you're going to take their gold necklaces. Anyway, that's where she was. Where that blue arrow is. That's where she went. Altadena. Came all the way down from Santa Barbara to Altadena. And do you know how long she stayed there? 17 minutes. 17 minutes. Oh, there's the forest there. Oh, is that Doria? No, can't be. You never know. She gets everywhere, Doria. Look, there's water there. Where's that now? Angeles National Forest. What the hell? Look at all this water here in these places. Why the hell can't they? What's wrong with them? They have all this money. I mean, you know that that's probably the wealthiest part of America there in Pacific Palisades. They got all that money, and I don't know how much taxes they pay, but they got to pay what they're supposed to pay. They must do. And a lot of them have probably got enough to go and put the money down on another house straight away, which is, well, good for them. But I feel so sorry for the people that got their insurance turned down and didn't do anything about it, or, well, even if they, if they didn't stand a chance. They were sitting ducks all in a row, all wooden, all joined to each other. It was an accident waiting to happen, and come on, somebody somewhere in America must have had the brains to say, there hasn't been rain for a year, the rain's overdue, there's like a tinderbox, and why didn't somebody just go make fire breaks and fill up the bloody reservoir and maybe suggest to people that they put some boreholes down into the ground to get some water, so many things could have been done and hardly anything was. It's just awful. Oh, and you know that Meg, she's had wicked reviews, terrible. Have you seen her? Let me show you. You must have seen it. I'm going to try and find it for you now. Netflix Megan trailer. We don't have to watch it. Oh, they got a new one now. Look, it says new Netflix trailer. Oh, elevated trailer. This is the one. 1.5 million views. This is the one. Oh, God. I know every expression on her face now, and she's got some really weird expressions where her face goes right back to when she was that 8-year-old little plain child. Look at this now. I've 17,000 upvotes. Oh, I can't see the figures. There we are, look at this. How dare she use the LA fires as a PR stunt? Why is she there? I love it when she claps her hands when she elevates a Victoria sponge with a cherry. And when she does that little dance rejoicing in her talent, that's me, that is. I paused this video at 7 seconds and read the comments for 2 hours. Thank you, America. Hey, come on, it's not just America, Wales too. Putting salad on a plate and spinning it. Truly inspiring. Oh, dear. Honestly, so have they done, I just want to see, is this another trailer? Let's have a little look. Because they've put it back. Harry and Meghan's new Netflix trailer, Prince Promises Whole Truth. What the hell are they on about? Prince Promises Whole Truth. There's the truth and Meghan, you can't put those in the same sentence. They just do not match. No. She's a horrible, horrible person. A wicked, wicked woman. Royal Rogerin, she's done an elevated trailer. Let's have a quick look at this.
Come on, let's go. I don't have time for this. I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it, surprising people with moments that let them know I was really thinking of them. I'm going to share some little tips and tricks. I see what color I gravitate to, and everything goes from there. I love that we're doing this together for the first time, and how you can incorporate these practices every day. Look at what we made. That's what you want. You want that shape and texture. This is about connecting with friends, making new friends. That is so good. I'm just learning. Look at how much honey we have. Love is in the details. We're not in the pursuit of perfection. We're in the pursuit of joy.
Thank you, Royal Rogerin. If ever you want to... Yeah. For a moment, it sounds like she's whispering, "Look at how much money we made." And that beekeeper looks at her like she's got two heads. Terrible. And the raging wildfires are still going. I've got a playlist. If you look at my account, my YouTube here, and you view the channel playlists, you see playlists, view all. I've done loads of playlists. Watch later and liked is private. Wildfires, I've got that one. 81 videos. Meghan Markle, 384. Keir Starmer, P. Diddy. Illegal migrants. There's some excellent stuff in the migrants. I mean, you think you got it bad. In fact, I'll go as far as to say America and Australia, we're all going through exactly the same things. Bigger scale, smaller scale. But it's all the same. You know, I was surprised that the doctor came out to me the other day. And he turned up in like 1 hour from the phone call. And within 3 hours, I had my medication off the chemist. They did it for me. They brought it out. I was overwhelmed because apparently the illegal migrants or the unregistered immigrants, whatever you want to call them, they get priority over us now because they are coming in with, listen to this, HIV, STDs, hepatitis C, A, B, and A, B, C, D. They've come in with some really bad monkeypox, Ebola, ecovirus, those sort of diseases, tropical diseases, malaria and things like that. So they've got to be seen as a matter of urgency so that we don't get the monkeypox. Have you seen the monkeypox? That's pretty horrible looking, that is. They're like big pustules all over you. Oh, terrible. But we've got it all under control. I mean, we're a vaccinated race. We're a first world country, a bit like America and Australia. So to have these people coming in from Africa, where they've got all sorts of malaria and all those diseases I just mentioned, and they haven't got them under control. That's why they've got the Red Cross out there and other doctors and, Médecins Sans Frontières and, those ships that go in and do cleft lip jobs and things like that. They've got so many doctors working out there in Africa to keep things under control. And here they are coming across the borders and into our country and bringing all these diseases. And they're used to marrying girls of like 13 years of age. And that's why now they're catching these men hanging around outside children's schools. They're staying in hotels, nice hotels, 4-star hotels. Got nothing to do all day. They get their money. They got a nurse on the site of the hotel, within the hotel in one of the rooms, downstairs, like a consulting room. And all day long then they just wander around and they wander to the children's schools. And they're attracted to, obviously, young girls. That's their nature, isn't it? So anyway, that's on my playlist. If ever you want to have a look, I got some great stuff. There's old Donna Adelson. I mean, the crime channels are coming up now. Donna Adelson, Melody Faris, if you didn't see that, good God. There's Cardiff and Wales, also North Korea. I found a channel on YouTube. Peter Fairley, I think his name is. And he's managed to get a satellite dish homed in on North Korea. And you can watch North Korea television. It's terrible. I mean, the music and our great leader, Simnaya. But at the same time, it kind of makes you laugh. And then Syria and all sorts of things that I enjoy. Well, Luigi M, he's coming up for his plastic surgery, human robots, they scare me. P. Diddy, Chris Watts, bloody hell. And all sorts of, I keep playlists. I try and save all the good videos. I've even got a playlist on hernias. My hernia. I told the doctor. He said, "Look, we won't worry about that query now." And I quite agree with him. It is it's still there, but I'm not going to worry about it because breathing is the most important thing you can do for your body. Keeping your oxygen in there and just keep breathing until I see you the next time. I better go now anyway. Thank you for listening. Thank you for having 10,000 followers. And one thing I want to say to you is, please, now that I'm back on YouTube, and I think I'm out of the probation period. I think I'm all right now. I don't want you to spend any more money on me. If I can monetize my channel, I will when I feel like it, if I can. But I don't want you wasting any more money on me. I'm just not worth it, because it puts me in a position where I get nervous that I haven't given you what you're paying for, and I feel bad about that. So if you don't give me any money, then it frees me up to be more free, really free, and just, when I feel like doing it. And I think then I do it more often. But when I feel like I'm having to do videos because I'm not doing them, I start getting panicky. Stupid, isn't it? Just plain stupid. Anyway, I'll be back. I will be back. And I'm hoping now that I'll get better and better, and that come this summer I'm going to have some eureka moment where I'm going to say, that's it, I'm off, and I'm going to go somewhere. I got a funny feeling something's going to happen. My daughter's not speaking to me. I never say anything about that, do I? I shouldn't really say anything now. But it was her birthday yesterday, so I sent her... Excuse me. I sent her a box of goodies last May. I collected another box of goodies. This is for the children as well, for Christmas. But I wasn't well enough to send it. But I sent her a text and I said, I'm sorry I didn't send you. She didn't answer me. I sent it last night at about 10:30, wishing her a happy birthday for today, happy 41st, and telling her that, I've got a box of stuff I got to send her. No reply. So tonight then, about 10:30 again, I said, did you have a lovely birthday today? I said, I'm sorry I can't make it up there to see you. But having said that, she's never offered to come down, ever. But I can't. I can't get up there, not until I'm back to full health again. If I ever get back to full health, I can't. She lives in London, and it's an awkward situation. And I think what I did, I made a very big mistake. I bought that massage parlour to make money to send my daughter to a posh school. And that was the problem. That in itself was the problem, because by sending her to a posh school, she mixed with posh people. And what was her mother's job? I was a brothel keeper, and it was embarrassing for her. And so she was paranoid about me never saying anything. And I think that made her nervous. And I think that now that she's married well, she got a really good job. She got all her O-levels, A-levels. She got 4 children. But I think I'm an embarrassment to her. I got to face facts. I've known this for a while. I've told her this. I don't think she wants, because she lives in London. She's got a nice house and everything, and her father's quite well off, and he would see her all right for money. And I think that I'm just the the black sheep, I suppose. I'm all right. I've come to terms with it. I mean, this is nothing new. I just don't mention it very often. But the truth is that I got one daughter, and I think after yesterday I've sent her 2 texts. If I get a text off her, I'll be sure to let you know. I'll be over the moon. I've sent her about 4 boxes in the last 2 years, and all I get after I send it is, box arrived, thanks very much, Mum. Now, in that box were presents for every single body. There's a family of 6 there. And I didn't ever get, Frankie liked his so-and-so, or Rafa liked his so-and-so, or I liked or Baz liked that. Never anything that would make me think, oh, good, I'm glad that he liked that. Just everyone liked it, thank you very much, and then that's it. Getting a conversation out of my daughter is like pulling teeth. It really is. It's hard. She never wants to have a conversation with me. I can send her a text I can send it 3, 4, 5, 6 pages long. And that'll be it. One day I wrote her a letter. It was last year. 13 pages it was. And I told her everything. I was chatting away, and I wrote this letter and I sent it up to her. And she wrote back. Yeah, she did, because I knew that by writing a letter, she would be honour bound to reply, because that's how we were brought up. And the first words in the letter, and it was a 3-page letter, and it said, "No, don't go expecting letters off me all the time. Don't go writing to me all the time, because I haven't got time to write back." But then the letter was quite nice, for 3 pages. That's 2 pieces of paper, and 3 sides. It was a nice letter, and I've still got it. But I'd asked her loads of questions. It was a 13-page letter. I remember thinking, God, I've gone on a bit here. I didn't expect a 13-page letter back, but I didn't expect to be told off either. I didn't write again. Well, I think I might have said something, but I haven't sent much, Because whatever I do, if I ask her for photos, she just says a plain no. No. I think she enjoys hurting me. I think she does, but I don't know. We'll find out one way or another. And if I do move house, I doubt if I'll even bother to tell her, because I doubt she'd even care. Anyway, I'll be back. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried. I'll be back tomorrow and I'll speak to you then. Cheerio!